This is the Rebel Gen 7 case for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And right now, protecting your phone matters more than ever. Because while flagship smartphones keep getting more expensive, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is actually less durable than previous generations. So naturally, case manufacturers are responding with bigger claims than ever before. Military-grade protection, 20-foot drop ratings, new aerospace materials, Aramid Fiber, shock-absorbing corners. But how much of this actually protects your phone, and how much of it is just marketing? If you're new to this channel, my name is John, and I drop test rugged iPhone 17 Pro Max cases to see if they actually live up to the manufacturer claims. Today, we're taking a closer look at the Rebel Gen 7 case, using Apple's own case design guidelines as a reference. And this case was one of the most requested reviews on the channel. So is it actually any good? Let's start with the most important thing of all, basic protection. If you go to the Rebel website, these are some of the protection features they advertise. Thicker coating on anodized aluminum components, inner TPE corner inserts, aggressively raised front claw-like corners, premium microfiber liner. Now, some of these features sound impressive, but what actually matters is whether they protect your iPhone during a real-world fall. So before doing any drop testing, I first wanted to see if the front screen lip was actually tall enough to protect the display. Because at the end of the day, the screen is still the most important part of your phone. If the screen breaks badly enough, your phone basically becomes unusable. So I did my usual marker and white paper tilt test to see if the front lip keeps the screen from touching the surface during a face-first impact. Unfortunately, the Rebel Gen 7 failed this test. There was some visible marker transfer in the middle of the screen area here, which means there will be some screen contact if this case and phone were to fall on screen. That's unfortunate, but not too surprising, because although the front corners of the case are aggressively raised, the rest of the front lip is actually very low profile. So it also made me question how protective this case would actually be during real-world drops. So now it's time for the real test. We're going to start with 5 simple drops from a height of about 5 to 6 feet, and then see how the phone does. If it still looks like it's in good condition, we're going to go all the way to our normal 30 drops from this height. We're going to do 10 drops from pocket height, 10 from about 2 feet high, and then 10 from about 3 to 4 feet. So this is drop number 1. So 5 drops. Let's just take a quick look. So the most important thing is I want to make sure that the screen didn't break, because if that happens, test immediately stops. So far, so good. We're going to go all the way to 30. By the way, if you like seeing these real-world drop tests and want to support the channel, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comments what case you'd like to see me review next. Man, little behind the scenes look here. If you're curious how we get those point of view drops, DJI Action 5 rubber banded to the back of the case. That's the scary one, because that was face first onto the front of the screen with the weight of the action camera on the back. Okay, this is immediately after 30 drops from a height of about 5 to 6 feet. Look at the screen first. No breaks, no cracks. Take a quick look at the case to see how well it's held up. So far, extremely durable. There's some wear marks in the bottom here where it probably took more hits. Otherwise, it's looking really good. Take off the case. Looking to see if there's any new dents or dings. Amazing. I don't see anything. I'm actually very surprised at that result because of how low profile these edges are. It almost feels like you're using a naked iPhone, to be honest, but I'm really surprised that it managed to survive that. We're going to move on to the rest of the drop footage. Alright guys, so this is 60 drops. You can see phone is working. different camera zooms and modes working. Take a closer look at the case. This is not bad at all, guys. I wasn't expecting too much out of this case because of how low profile this is, but this actually withstood all those drops pretty well. This is that anodized aluminum camera ring right here. You can see that the color is still on there. There's no like little nicks or anything. That looks great. Just look at the phone. Camera buttons are all good. Very nice. Now that we know whether the Rebel Gen 7 can actually survive real-world drops, let's take a closer look at the materials, fit, finish, and long-term experience. At first glance, the Rebel Gen 7 just looks like another black rugged case. But the closer you look, the more interesting it gets. After using this case for several days, a few things immediately stood out to me. First, this case feels surprisingly slim and lightweight for something marketed as rugged. And despite the thin profile, the case still feels dense and solid in the hand. It fits tight on the phone and takes some effort to take back off, which is a good thing. Now material-wise, there's actually a lot going on here. This case uses at least 6 different types of materials. Starting with the back, you have an Aramid fiber plate that not only looks great, but also adds grip. Most case backs are completely smooth, so this is something I noticed immediately during daily use. The backplate does attract fingerprint oils pretty easily, but thankfully they wipe away without much effort. The rest of the rear shell is polycarbonate. Then around the camera area, you have an anodized aluminum camera ring that's actually removable. And this is where things start getting really unique, because Rebel also sells interchangeable camera plate covers, which means you can swap between an exposed camera design or a fully covered camera plateau, without needing to buy an entirely different case. I haven't seen any other company do this before. The side frame itself is TPU with a textured grip pattern that is extremely grippy, and inside the corners, Rebel uses TPE shock inserts for impact absorption. You also get a microfiber lining on the inside of the case to help protect the phone itself from scratches. In terms of the front screen lip design, the corners are raised aggressively while the top, bottom, and side edges stay very low profile. Another interesting design choice is the removable logo piece at the bottom of the case. That piece can actually be swapped out for their lanyard accessory kit. Now, I do question how strong this attachment system would be if somebody aggressively yanked on the lanyard, but I also understand why Rebel chose this location. Most companies place lanyard holes near the bottom corners, but Rebel is actually using those areas for additional grip texture and corner padding. So this feels more like a deliberate design compromise rather than an oversight. And overall, the amount of customization and modularity here is really impressive. Lastly, the MagSafe performance is extremely strong in day-to-day use. I did some simple push-pull tests, and this is the strongest MagSafe connection I've felt in a long time. Besides the overall protection, the next thing people interact with most on their phones is the buttons, ports, and swipe gestures. Because even if a case is protective, bad buttons or uncomfortable gestures can completely ruin the daily experience. Luckily, the Rebel Gen 7 performs really well here. The buttons are clicky, responsive, and have a very satisfying tactile feel. Every press feels clean and consistent. At the bottom, the charging port, speakers, and microphone areas are fully open, and all of my charging cables fit without any issues. But the biggest highlight here is the swipe gesture experience. Because the front lip stays so low profile along the sides, swiping feels very natural. It's one of the closest experiences I've had to using a naked iPhone while still using a rugged style case. And that balance is very difficult to pull off. Most rugged cases either feel bulky or have tall front lips that constantly rub against your fingers during gestures. The Rebel Gen 7 somehow manages to avoid most of that. So in conclusion, the Rebel Gen 7 is one of the most interesting rugged iPhone 17 Pro Max cases I've tested so far. Not just because of the protection, but because of the overall design philosophy behind it. Most rugged cases force you to choose between protection and comfort, but the Rebel Gen 7 tries to balance both. You get strong grip, very strong MagSafe, excellent swipe gestures, a relatively thin and light design, and a surprising amount of customization options. And this combination of attributes is extremely rare. Now, in terms of actual drop protection, I thought my screen was going to be destroyed with how low profile that front lip is, but the different combination of materials and the location of those materials actually did a great job of protecting the phone. At around $50, this sits in that upper middle to lower premium case category. But considering the materials, modularity, and overall user experience, I actually think the pricing makes sense. Now, it's not perfect, like I wish there was some kind of kickstand on the back, but overall, this feels like one of the few rugged cases that still manages to feel modern, lightweight, and comfortable to use every single day. And for a lot of people, that might be exactly what they're looking for. Now, if you want to see a case that I tested on more than just manufactured hardwood floor, including wood, concrete, and asphalt, check out my D-Brand 10 case video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.